Hello, everybody, and welcome to Ask the Answers podcast with myself, Adele Cobain. And today you can see on the screen joining me, if you're watching on social media, we've got Denise Campbell joining us. Hello, Denise.
Hello, everyone. Hello.
Lovely to join the podcast with yourself today. How are you?
I'm very, very good. Thanks for asking. How's yourself?
Yes, I'm very good. Thank you very much. We're going into the summer months, so of course the kids are off school now, so trying to juggle everything at the moment.
I understand. I understand.
You mentioned before we went live that you've had a busy morning. So life busy for you?
um, generally it is because I'm a grandmother, and I have a grandson that I look after quite a bit. I help my daughter out as much as I can, and and my callers will know that when asked, they know that I have a Dachshund dog as well, so that keeps me busy.
Oh, I'm sure. Oh, bless you. And how long have you been working with Ask the Answer for now?
It's about 8 years.
Oh, wow. So you're a
Yeah, it's a long
veteran on the
time.
site.
Yeah, a long time. I've always done it part time, but since I retired, I'm now more available in the days as well. So it's more of a full time thing for me now. So
Brilliant.
yeah.
So what was that point when you became a reader on Ask the Answer? You know, what brought you to the show?
I think it's because I'd really gotten, I think perhaps, um, I'd got to the point where I was reading the cards accurately, and I was my predictions, as it were I was learning to I'd learned to understand what my spirit guide, what, when they talk to me, that's fine, because they'll just tell me something. It's black and white, and if I can hear them well enough, sometimes it sounds like they're at the end of a long tunnel, and when they're saying a name to me, I don't always get it quite right, like Daryl, Darren, it's sometimes it's as clear as day and they're whispering in my ear. So it can vary, and sometimes, well, I get shown images and it's interpreting those images. And I got to the point where I was more accurate at that. So instead of doing it for friends and family, as it were, I actually thought, I wonder if I could take this a bit further and have it as a bit of a career. And I found that that fortunately, fingers crossed and touch wood and everything, that that the readers have liked me and have come back and said, you're right. And I'm very, very, very lucky, because there are people that I still speak to today that spoke to me when I first started.
Wow.
I have new clients, but I also have existing ones that I've gone through quite a lot with them.
That's lovely. Yeah, and testimony on itself.
So
Fantastic.
for me, I think that's rewarding.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're saying about hearing the voices, sometimes it can be, clearer than other times. Is it something you've experienced from a child? Is this something that you came in at a later stage in your life?
No, I always had it as a child, but I didn't know what it was. I didn't understand it, and I think for a long time I ignored it. And I just had this feeling that I knew what was going to happen, and I ignored it. And and for a while I thought everybody was like me. But I wish I was told something useful, like lottery numbers or something.
Wouldn't we all?
Work that way. But now that I think I've opened up to my gifts, and I've explored them and I've fine-tuned them. I feel that it's helped me as a person in my life make decisions, but also I can help other people as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And what were you doing before you went into this then? Having sort of the experience as a young child, but not necessarily acting upon it and doing it professionally. So what were you doing before then? Were you in other professions?
Oh God, yes. I was a teacher.
Mhm.
for many, many years. And then I did a job working in social services
Mhm.
with adults. And then after that, I went into customer services.
Mhm.
But I'm 60 now, and I felt this was the right time to retire.
Mhm.
And so this is what I do when I'm not looking after my grandson.
Yeah, bless you. And what would you say are your main specialities? You know, what is it that comes to the forefront the most? Is it mediumship? Is it clairvoyance? Is it crystals? Is there a certain way that you work when you're on the phone lines?
when when I get a call come through, obviously we don't know who it is coming
Mhm.
through. Um, if it's one of my regular callers, I'll know the voice, and there will be an instant connection, because the more you ring the same person, or in my case, the more that I connect with the same person, I get a better connection with them each time.
Mm.
And I find that my spirit guide is the first thing through. If my spirit guide is with me, they might give me a name, they might give me a place, they might tell me something about the person, just to confirm that we've got a connection.
Mhm.
And then if they're asking me, for example, about an ex-boyfriend or a partner, I might be able to give them something as well. Because for me, when I connect with somebody, there's lots of like threads coming off with everybody that interacts in your life. And I have to get that energy from them,
Mhm.
so I follow that thread to that person. So if that person's been around you, or I might ask, what's the last thing they said, even if it's a text and it's just good night, it
Mm.
helps me get a stronger connection. And then I use the cards as well, and I'll use the major arcana cards initially. I like to use them, just my own personal preference,
Yeah.
because I think they're brilliant for an overview. If somebody wants a bit of a general reading, I think they're brilliant. And then we go through the general reading. I love people to interrupt me, because I
Mhm.
just run off and just keep talking.
Mhm.
So I love people to say, "Can I ask? Jump in. It's your reading.
Yeah.
You know, ask what you want. Stop me. Tell me what you need." And I use the cards, and then if the spirit guide has something to add, I throw it in. But sometimes it's not always in the right order. So the cards maybe,
Mhm.
but my spirit guide will throw something in.
Okay.
And it might just be something really odd. It might be, somebody will say, yes, plant those geraniums. And the person, oh my God, I was thinking of planting geraniums yesterday, or
Yeah.
just something like that. So it might be something that's not really helpful, but it just
It's all
confirms that we've
confirmation.
got that connection. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so sometimes, and I always throw in whatever I'm told by the spirit guide, whether it's relevant or not, because I think
Mhm.
they are giving me that message, it might be important to the person,
Yeah,
you see.
absolutely. And when you talk about spirit guides, just it's always nice to get people's opinions on it. What is a spirit guide to you? Is it someone that's walked in this earth plane? Is it something, a higher level than that? What is a spirit guide?
Well, I believe it's somebody that's passed over,
Mhm.
and they might not necessarily be connected to you, but it's somebody that wants to do good, somebody who wants to help. And that's
Mhm.
what makes them a guide, is that they want to give you guidance in your life for the good, for being
Mhm.
positive, you see. So that's what I believe a spirit guide is. So I tend to trust them
Yeah.
quite good, I really do. But when people pass over, their personality doesn't change. If they were a cranky old soul
Mhm.
before they passed over, they're a cranky old soul afterwards. So I do have one spirit guide who says it like it is.
Mhm.
So, and they're very blunt, and they are nice, and they're very good,
Yeah.
but they are a bit blunt.
So you can
They'll
have
say,
more than one spirit guide working with you.
absolutely, absolutely.
Mhm.
I think I'm very blessed. I have one that comes to talk to me a lot, and one that pops in and gives their opinion, shall I say.
And are these people that you know that have walked on the earth plane, or these spirit guides that have come to you that you're not aware of where they've come from? They're not a relative or anything.
The person that comes through to me a lot, they are not a relative at all that I'm aware of. I don't feel I've got any connection with them. I think it's somebody that's just passed over that wants to come and help, genuinely wants to be kind and help and make a difference on this earth. And my other spirit guide, I think it's my nan. It's my nan, and the way that they speak, the name, it's my nan, and particularly how they talk. She's very down to earth and calls a spade a spade. And so my nan is somebody that will give you, for example, if she was going to write a book on losing weight, she'd just say, eat less.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just cut to the chase.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Don't worry about all these fancy diets. Just eat less.
Yeah, just eat less. So you tailor the information to the caller, and I know my nan joins me with one of my regular callers, and we have quite a laugh when she comes and joins the conversation, because she does appreciate her her input sometimes, and she gives a lot of gardening advice. My nan does as well, so
okay. Brilliant. I love that.
So you might not get what you came for on the call, but she'll put her 2 pennies in on what you need for your garden.
No, I like that. That's good. And have you had this, you say you do your other professions. When you were in those other lines of work, did you get messages coming through? Were you picking up or sensing things of people that you were teaching or that you were on the phone lines with when you weren't really into the psychic world professionally? Were you still getting things before then?
Yes. Yes. But I never said anything.
Because you doubted it, or because you were scared of what people's reactions were, or
I think there's always that, but I think that it wasn't the right format. It wasn't the right place. So I never spoke about my beliefs or what I felt or anything like that. I didn't. But I just kept it to myself, and I felt, when I was in an environment with, I was doing readings for friends, family, that sort of thing. It was very light-hearted, and so Ask the Answer really is, it's my professional job now.
So where did that confidence come? Where was the turning point that confidence came from doing it, for friends and families, a bit light-hearted, to then thinking, actually, no, I could do this, professionally?
I think I got good at it, basically. I think I got to the point where that I was actually quite accurate. And I would sense things, and I would say things, and they would come back and say, oh, do you remember when? And I recall you said, and I thought, oh, I'll give it a go. And because I've been here for so long, I think that's
you must be doing something right.
People call me, and thank you that you do. But yeah, people do call me, and keep calling. Nice.
And what are the age? What are the ages? I was thinking about this before I came on the phone line. I was thinking about, obviously, the kids off on their summer holidays now, and I was thinking, what age do you start talking about these things to people, or what sort of ages do come through and speak on the phone lines? Is it okay to talk to your children about the spirit world? Should we be more open, or is it something that people can't really accept, or maybe they're a little bit too sensitive to maybe it should be later on for them to know more about it and be more aware?
I think that for me, I think it's the comfort. So if somebody has passed over, I always believe they've gone to a really good place, and they might not necessarily be able to come back and give us a message or even want to, but I feel that they've gone to a really good place. And with my grandson, he's 9 at the moment, and he used to be afraid of monsters under the bed and things like that, and then it became like ghosts. And I said to him, because I think I've spoken before about that I do paranormal investigating as well.
Mm-hmm.
And that just reaffirmed to me that, you know, we don't just die and that's it. There is an afterlife.
Yeah.
And I really do believe that we do go on somewhere better. We do go on to to heaven. And, when we're dead, that's just not it. So I
Yeah.
say to my grandson, I've told him, I've seen ghosts. I've had a ghost hold my hand. I've had a ghost move my necklace up and down. I've seen them on film. I don't think they're anything to be frightened of. I don't think they jump out and say boo to you. I think some of them are actually incredibly very shy.
Mm-hmm.
And I've never been on a ghost hunt where anything horrible's happened.
Yeah.
I know people are nervous about them. It's for me, it's lovely. So I do speak to my grandson about it, and I just say, "Oh, ghosts to be frightened of. They won't hurt you."
Yeah.
He seems okay with that, rather
Yeah.
than no such things as ghosts.
Yeah. Don't be
Because
so silly. Yeah.
yeah, that's what I said when he was little. Oh, there's no such things as ghosts, and it didn't work. So then I thought, oh, okay, I'll change tact. I'll tell him what I really think. This is what I
Yeah.
told him. He was happy with that.
Yeah, no, I'm similar with my children. My son's 12 and my daughter's 7, but I've always been very much like, I don't want them to be scared of death. I think because I lost my parents and a brother very early on in my life, I don't want them to be scared of death, because God forbid anything happened to me or my husband. As much, of course, it'll be devastating, it'll be hard for them to cope as a child. I also don't want them to be scared of death, that, it will happen to everyone at some point, but to remember that we'll always be around and we'll be here to guide you and to bring messages through when we need to, and all those sort of things. So it's not so scary. And like you said, when people move into new environments and maybe they do experience ghosts or energies around, that actually there's a way of handling it, or there's techniques that you can use, but just being a little bit more open with them rather than sort of brushing it under the carpet and that they're being silly and don't be stupid, and just talk them through it, really.
I think so. And I mean, I will tell you this. I will share with you this. It's sort of quite personal, but my middle daughter, when she was 4, she had to have, or she went into heart failure, and she had to go and have emergency heart surgery. And we had her, she was very poorly. She'd actually deteriorated quite quickly, and she was in a pushchair, and she was just hot and sweaty the whole time. So her heart was working so hard just to keep us, her body going. But anyway, she had a wonderful surgeon, and she's absolutely fine now, and as I say, she's the mum of my grandson. But we had her christened, and we weren't particularly a religious family, because I'd married somebody that was Roman Catholic, and I'm C of E. So we said, we'll let the children choose their religion when they're older, rather than force one or the other on. But anyway, we had my daughter christened anyway, and off she went for her surgery. And because I felt when they stopped her heart, that God would look after her. Because I couldn't, and I thought, well, God would look after her. And it was really strange, because when she came back from the surgery, she spoke about going somewhere and how beautiful. She said, I went to heaven and I sat on Jesus's lap. And we weren't really a religious family, and she talked about that for so many months afterwards, and it was just incredible. And I, and some of the things she was saying, how beautiful it was, and she was so happy about this place. So I just said, great, lovely, and I just thought, well, yeah, wow,
there's like a message there.
So for me, I don't fear death at all. I think when time's up, my time's up, and ready for the next phase, whatever it is, whatever's next.
And it is, isn't it, with what a lot of the people that you speak to, it's the fear of the unknown, whether it's about people passing or just in life in general. They don't know where their life is heading. They don't know what job they're going to be in. They don't know if they're going to still be with that person they're with this time next year. They don't know how the children are coping with leaving the nest. There's so much of the fear of the unknown rather than just living in the present and seeing what unfolds.
Absolutely, I agree. And I think we should almost, with our mindset, live our lives backwards. And if I can explain, what I mean is when you're very old and
Hmm.
you're lying on your deathbed, as it were, what's important to you? Is it the fact that you worked so hard, you volunteered to cover for people that were off?
Hmm.
Um, is it the money? Is it, all these things? Nice to have, don't get me
Yeah.
wrong, it's lovely. It's what we all want, or we all work for, but let's keep it in proportion. Let's have work-life balance.
Mm.
Let's make sure we've got time for our friends, our family, our loved ones.
Yeah.
Um, and especially when I look back at my life, and I had to keep working when I was single, and I was bringing the children up, and I was a teacher, and I was coming in from work, and I was really tired. Um, and I did fall asleep during Coronation Street in my clothes, and wake up in the morning ready to go to work with the same clothes. I
Oh
hadn't gone to
gosh.
bed. So that
So
made me think,
was that worth it?
no, 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 no. I look back and I think, people don't understand that job when they say, oh, you're off to 6 weeks school holidays and things like that. They don't understand the exhaustion you have, and
Yeah.
you're just catching up.
Mm.
Um, but I look back at my life and I think I would have done things differently. So now I've got to 60, and I shouldn't be able to retire,
Hmm.
because the retirement age is 67. I'm in a fortunate position that I can take a step back now.
Yeah.
But um, I'm so grateful for that time, and I think
Mm.
that sometimes we need just to have a look at, get in perspective. What are we missing out on? Is it those holidays while we still can? While I
Yeah.
can get up, the stairs of the aeroplane, I'm
Yeah.
going to travel and spend as much time with my kids as possible, and annoy the hell out of them, because I
Yeah.
want to see them all the time and do
Yeah.
things with them, and my grandson. And it isn't about chasing money all the time. It's about having that work-life balance. And if you can afford to do that, I think that's really important. I think,
Yeah.
and because of your own mental health today, it's there's so much going on in the world. We worry about the future, we worry about the past, things we can't change, we ruminate. Sometimes you just need to live in the moment, and also have a look back. If tomorrow was my last day,
Yeah.
what would I like to have done? What would I change? And then put those changes into practice now.
Absolutely. I can really relate with what you're saying. In fact, it's something that I've been mentioning to my husband only sort of the last, couple of weeks. There was something that was, I don't know, it was in the paper or on radio, where you're talking about looking sort of backwards almost, where a lady in her 80s was saying, just similar to what you were saying, was that, when you're 80 years old, you're not going to be, you're going to be thinking, I wish I had the body that I still had, so I could, like you say, go traveling or go walking or go hiking. When you're 80 years old, when the children aren't around you anymore, they've flown the nest, you're going to be craving the fact that they were around, annoying you, saying mummy every 2 seconds. Even right now, you're probably thinking, oh gosh, just leave me alone, give me some peace, and all these little things that you're mentioning that absolutely. And it's so easy, isn't it, to get into that, taking it for granted and getting into that sort of the rat race where it's like, oh, everything's a bit of an effort and can't be bothered because we're either working too much or we haven't got that balance, or we're snapping at the children because they're wanting to our attention and we're too tired or we're working. And it is finding out what is more important. If you did look back, exactly what you said, are those things important? And I think I said this as well to my husband, that okay, yes, we can get the house all decorated, but are the kids going to remember us getting a bathroom done, or are they going to remember us taking them to Disney World or something? Things like that we can do when we retire. But right now, at the moment, it's about having those memories with the children. And my husband got made redundant recently, and he's had the most time with my daughter than he's had in years. Taking her to school, going to the sports day, and taking her swimming. He hasn't done any of that for years because he's been working. And suddenly, this time, which is now so precious up until he starts his new job at the end of the year, I said, just make the most of that, because you're never going to get that time back again when you go back to work.
Yeah, exactly. And time passes. I mean, I can't believe my son is 40.
Mm.
Um, it's unbelievable. And you want them a bit older, and you want that, you think, oh, when they've left home. You're quite right. But I love it when my grandson comes, because then he kicks his shoes off in the hall, and for me to trip over, and he leaves a trail of crumbs all over the sofa. And
Yeah.
lovely. It's lovely.
Yeah.
You know, because the
Ah,
house we lived in, you know, and it feels like a home. You know, there's a bit of noise,
yeah.
and it's fantastic.
But
So
then you can
it's
hand them back and clean up your house again. It doesn't stay like that every day.
oh, and the car. And when my daughter got a brand new car, I said,
Oh.
please, can we go through McDonald's? I said, I want to throw chips and tea. I want to spill milkshake. And
Oh,
you know what?
brilliant.
I did draw on her windows.
Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. I love that.
I
A naughty
know.
nanny getting her own
Yeah,
back.
I'm gonna get my own back. So instead of, you know, she has this brand new car that she's worked and saved really hard
Yeah,
for, and then I go in and I'm like,
love that.
doing lots of windows.
That's so good. That's so good. So for you now, I mean, what are you experiencing? You know, you're on the phone lines, you know, quite often. So, you know, when you are speaking to people at this moment in time, what's this year been about so far, the beginning part of the year?
Um, it's the most common caller for me. It's relationships and love.
Hmm.
That's everybody. It doesn't matter how old you are, what background you're from. We all want love, and it doesn't matter even what country. Everybody's looking for the same thing.
Hmm.
Um, so a lot of my calls are about relationships, to be fair,
Hmm.
or when relationships have gone wrong,
Yeah.
because there's a lot of healing that goes on when a relationship breaks down. And I can help with that. But for me, there's a lot of relationships. There's a little bit of people worried about money with the
Hmm.
economy,
Yeah.
you know, jobs, that sort of thing. But primarily, it's love, always. And
And I was going to
sorry.
say, oh no, I was going to say, and are people, you know, open with you? Because I mean, you talking about relationships straight away. I had that image of that CEO recently getting caught out in Coldplay, the performance where they zoomed in and they were having an affair, and then they suddenly all ducked and dived. Oh no, don't show us on camera. We shouldn't be together. Do you get situations where people come through and say, I know I'm not probably doing the right thing, or I'm having an affair, or, you know, do you get people opening up and talking about these things on the phone lines, or is it mainly just, I don't know, new love, or people already in, you know, stable relationships, or do you get all sorts of things coming through?
All sorts of things coming through, and I do get people having affairs, um, because they can talk to me, and there's, you know, no judgment, and it's between us girls, as you like,
Hmm.
you know.
Hmm.
And I say, look, I'm not your mum, all right.
Hmm.
Tell me what you want. And they can't tell their friends, they can't tell anybody in their family.
Hmm.
Um, so they talk to me, you
Hmm.
see. So I do have lots of secrets sometimes, and it's it's
Yeah.
it's a bit of an honor to be trusted with someone's secrets, but we
But is
do.
it also hard when you don't agree with it? If they are, you know, up to no good, or there's other people's feelings getting hurt, and it could break up a home. You know, how do you cope with that as a psychic?
Um, there's no judgment,
Hmm.
and I'm not in their shoes. I'm not
Hmm.
in their shoes. So I can only give them guidance,
Hmm.
and I will reveal to them different paths. So we talk about the relationship they're currently in, and we look at, if they stay in that relationship, what that future looks like.
Hmm.
We look at perhaps the third person, if you like, the other
Hmm.
person in life, and we have a look at what our future with them would look like. And we also look at a third option, which sometimes people don't always think about, and that is, what if they just take time out on their own,
Mm.
you know. And we have a look at that,
Yeah.
because if something wrong in their marriage, maybe they just need to take a step back and just maybe take some time out on their own and think
Mm.
about what's important to them.
Yeah.
So we explore all of those possibilities. We look at the cards. We have a look with my guide. So we have a look at the best way forward,
Hmm.
and what they need to think about, and what the pitfalls might be.
Yeah.
But it's their life, and I believe everybody makes choices in their lives that they live with,
Yeah.
that they can live with. And if you're having an affair and you can't tell anybody else, then people come and talk to me, and
Mm-hmm.
we talk it all through,
Yeah.
and you know, and I give guidance on what can happen in different scenarios, because there are different paths. You know,
Mm-hmm.
you're not one path.
Yeah.
There are different paths. You know, quite often the judgment card might come up, and we have a look at the different paths that are available to somebody.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so there's lots of reasons why people have affairs as well. It's not straightforward.
No, I don't imagine it is. And as you mentioned, you know, it is with any reading, they all have to take responsibility for their own actions. You know, it does ultimately come down to them and their choice that they make. You can only shed the light and give them the options, and then it's up to them what to do with that and to take the course that they wish to take.
That's right, because you have to ultimately follow your heart.
Mm.
The tarot cards can give you guidance, the spirit guide can give you guidance, in different scenarios if you do this or do that. But you get one life. You
Mm.
follow the heart, because
Yeah.
that's the choice that you need to make. And the cards can't make that choice for you, but they can give you some guidance, some support.
Mm-hmm.
And we can have a look at, you know, if that person's right for them. Should they leave them? Should they leave their partner? We do have a look at different scenarios. You see,
And
it's not straightforward.
and over the years, obviously being a psychic yourself, you're also a human being that goes through, I imagine, your own challenges and your own obstacles that you have faced. Is there anything that you can share that, you know, you've experienced very similar to some of the callers that, you know, you have empathy with?
Oh God, yes. Yes. I go through life with humour.
Hmm.
You know, I always try and look on the positive side of everything. You know, there's humour, and that's what I try to do. And I don't worry about tomorrow. I try and live in the moment, and I always try and make the you know, sort of good, positive decisions. But for me, I do, because when people ring, they want to talk about them. I want them to talk about them. But if they ask me, I will tell them that I, a few years ago, did internet dating.
Hmm.
I met my husband after 3 months of being on that site. I felt I didn't get my money's worth because I had a 6 month subscription, and I met him after 3 months. So I felt short. I always said to him I should have kept going, got my money's worth. Um, I dated some amazing people,
Hmm.
amazing people. I was very lucky. I did have some wonderful experiences. I went into it with, I'll see what happens, rather than I'm going to find a man. But I
Hmm.
was ruthless. I did. I was having a date a night. I was meeting somebody new, and I was going for this. You know, I was really going for this. I thought, I had the philosophy that if you throw enough mud at a wall, it will stick.
Yeah, yeah.
So anybody that contacted me and they looked okay, and I thought, oh, do you know what? And we spoke. I spoke to them for 2 weeks. That was my cut off, and then we would meet, and we'd see how it went. And then
Hmm.
I would see them again, and I would quickly rule them out. So over a couple of weeks, I was about
Yeah.
down to about 2 people that I really liked, and then
Uh-huh.
eventually, my husband was the lucky winner. He won
Oh,
me.
oh.
Um, and
And was his profile, was he like his profile?
Yes, yes. Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. It's, oh, I could tell you
I'm
stories.
sure there was many that weren't.
But I had I met my husband, and we've been married 3 years.
Mhm.
And you know, people say, "Oh, I don't want to do the internet," but you only hear about the bad things. You only
Yeah.
hear about things that go wrong, where people have tried to be scammed, or you met somebody really awful. You don't really, you know, because it's not exciting. It's not really big news, you know. But there are so
Yeah.
many people, meet people on the internet. So I
And you've done
wasn't.
this later on in life. This is not something that you did previously. It's something you came into and tried later on.
No, I tried later on.
Yeah.
I've been with my partner 9 years, so
Yeah.
I found myself single, and I just thought, you know what, oh, I'm going to go internet dating. And I did meet somebody with the eggy vest who I didn't know, but at the time they were using Google Translate, put on a picture of somebody else.
Oh, God.
And yeah, and you know
Oh.
what? I just thought this isn't going to work. But you know, I thought, well, we're here.
Yeah.
And we went for a meal. It wasn't an expensive restaurant or anything. We went for this meal and we had the most amazing laugh. He wasn't right for me, but
Yeah.
he was amazing laugh. He was an Italian man. He was amazing, a really lovely person. Just had only been in England for a short period of time, couldn't speak English. But we had such a laugh, and he wanted to see me, but he wasn't right for me, so I moved on.
But it
he
built
was
your confidence up.
I just laughed. I just, if I could cope with that, I can
Yeah.
cope with anything. Because when the profile went flat, that was a bit of a tricky time. But you know, you just meet someone for a drink, and if you don't like them, that's half an hour wasted. You know,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? If you like them, you can go have a meal or meet up again or have another drink or you know.
And so were you married before you went into internet dating? Had you been married previously, or were you with anyone before then?
Many years ago, I was young and foolish, and I married my childhood sweetheart.
Oh.
And I had my first child at 20.
Yeah.
And we were married, gosh, I think it was about 14 years.
Wow.
And we just married too young.
Yeah.
And we were people, but we had a daughter as well. And then 2 years after that, I actually just met someone through a neighbour, and I was with him for 16 years. And then that relationship ended, and I just thought, I'm going to internet date. I'm not wasting time.
Yeah.
And
Good on you.
Yeah, and I actually
look where
had
it led you. Amazing.
Yeah, I actually learned how to fly a light aircraft. I met a guy who took me on a date. He said, I had an aeroplane. I was like, do you? And he did.
Oh my gosh.
So we had a whole day of me flying around in this airplane, and he was letting me take the controls and you know, talk to.
Wow.
And yes, oh God, I've had some amazing dates, you know, as I say. And I just met some amazing people, but we weren't right for each other. And then I met Darren, and it was, I would say, as soon as I met him, well, he looked at me and he said that he fell in love with me straight away. And I was like, oh yeah. But I really felt like there was something about him. I thought, you know what? There's something there. And I felt really safe with him, and that's what it's like with a relationship. It's how you feel with someone, how they make you feel. And I felt cared for and special, and I felt he was very considerate and very kind from the minute I met him. And we had an amazing Indian meal. Our first date was at an Indian restaurant, and I picked it. And when we got married, we had an Indian meal at the reception.
Oh, amazing! Oh, I love that.
And then
nice. And is he acceptable? Is he accepting to what you do spiritually? Is he, you know, all for it, or is he quite black and white, typical man? He just lets you crack on.
No, he was quite intrigued actually, and. I actually got him because we have date nights. We still have date nights, and I quite early on in our relationship, I thought I'll take him on a date night, ghost hunting, and that's what we did. So we went ghost hunting, and now he's got the kit and everything.
He's got the kit. He's like Ghostbusters now. Let me get out. Oh, I love that. That's brilliant.
He's worse than me. I know. So yeah, so we love it. Yeah, we love it. It's something different to do as a couple, I think. You know, you get fed up
and exploring all these old historic places as well, and you know, getting flashbacks or getting the energy from, you know, things or people that have been around for years. You know, those sort of places are great to go and visit.
Oh, they are. And actually, one of the most unusual places we went, because people think it's an old monastery or something like that. We actually went to somewhere that was being used like a laser quest place.
Oh yeah.
and they'd actually left the piano because there was a spirit that played the piano.
Oh,
And at night, I mean, after 10 o'clock, that's when there's more activity. I think the energy is able to come through.
yeah.
So we were in this very odd building that had been converted, you know, and there was places to hide and everything if you were being shot at with a paintball or a laser. And we had quite a lot of activity there, and that was really good. But you could end up anywhere. I mean, I've
Yeah.
been to Oxford Castle. That's really worth going to. That's a really good one. You know, we've been to prisons. We've been all over the place. You know, we've been to, you know, stately homes. But the nice thing is that if anybody's never gone, you go as strangers and you come out as friends, because I think there's because there could be up say 30 of you that meet up, and you know, you are given the equipment. You don't have to have anything, just wear comfy shoes, bring a
Yeah.
little torch, and these places can be cold. They don't
Yeah.
tend to heat them in the evening.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
And you will be with a group of people, and you will have I think it's a certain mindset of people, because everybody's really friendly.
Yeah.
And it is really good. So if you want a different night out,
Yeah.
definitely take a partner there, I would
Brilliant.
say. Perhaps not to say if you're internet dating, because you're
Yeah.
going to be with them for hours, for probably about
Yeah.
5 hours in the dark.
Yeah, choose wisely. Oh, I can hear your little dog in the background. Is it a boy or a girl?
A little boy, sorry, yes, he normally doesn't move.
Oh, no, that's lovely.
He's a
Oh,
9-year-old standard Dachshund called Woody.
yeah.
So he's lost his little friend. Unfortunately, she passed away about 9 weeks ago
Oh,
now.
wow.
But I
Do
did
you get
have
anything like
4.
that? Do you get like any like animal energy or any spiritual connections with
Yes,
the animal world?
yes, actually, I was upstairs yesterday, and Maisie, my Dachshund, who passed away from an autoimmune disease,
Mm.
um, she used to nudge me with her nose in my ankle, because she was a miniature, so she was very
Oh,
small.
yeah.
And I was putting the ironing away last night, and I could feel her nose in my ankle, and I just thought, yeah.
Oh, that's lovely.
And she was upstairs, and she wasn't allowed upstairs.
She's got her own way now.
Well, it's with Dachshunds, it's their backs. So
Yeah,
I never used to allow them to go upstairs, having long backs, you see.
yeah.
So I always
Ah,
thought
lovely.
it would damage her back.
Oh, bless. Well, Denise, it's been lovely getting to know you again and hearing all your fantastic stories. And, you know, you've obviously been with RCRs for such a long time now. So, as we said, it's testimonial to itself that, you know, people are enjoying their readings. They're coming back. There's people that you've spoken to from the time that you started, you know, many moons ago, and still going strong. And you obviously still very much enjoy what you're doing.
I do. I think, as you probably know, I love talking. So for me, it's the perfect job. And meeting and talking to some wonderful people, because through Ask the Answer, I've spoken to people that I would normally never meet in life, and I share their experiences with their lives as well, and it's an honour to do that.
Ah,
Um, and it's very nice to help people, and it's even better when they come back and say, do you know what, you were right about that did
yeah,
happen, you said it happened, and it did. And that's nice as well, when people come back and keep
absolutely.
posted. So yeah, that's
Absolutely.
nice.
Well, for people that are listening that'd like to go through to you, your PIN number is 600134. Is that right?
Yes, it is.
Perfect. Lovely. And how often are you on the phone lines for if we want to connect with you for a psychic
um,
reading?
I try and come on between 10 and 6, and
Mhm.
then 8 till midnight. But because I am on call for my grandson, so if he's
Yeah.
sick at school and I'm not on, it's because I've had a call from the school to collect him. But
Yeah.
otherwise, I'm on.
Oh, bless you. Unless you're out having an Indian or you're doing a paranormal investigation.
Yes.
Denise, thank you so much for coming on our podcast today. Keep up the good work and we'll catch up with you in the future.
Lovely. And it's always a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you so much.
Lovely.
And
Thank you,
lovely to speak to
Denise.
you today.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.